Hey everybody, good evening, good evening. I know it's been a minute since we've been over here on this channel doing anything. Hopefully you'll see by the title tonight. Can't accept any kind of accountability if nobody holds you accountable. That's the topic we'll be discussing tonight. Either way, I'll give everybody a couple minutes to get in here, get going. And I've got the StreamYard down there if anybody wants to jump on, have anything to say about it. Oh, how's everybody's week been going? Hopefully not too, everybody's had a good week and not too bad of a rough week or anything. It's been a few weeks since we've been on here, hasn't it? 2 or 3 weeks now. I know we've just had a lot going on, a lot on these YouTube streets. Hey, lovely. Oh, there's Brian down there. Hard day on you. Oh, another hard. You know what, Lenny? We've had a lot of hard days on YouTube lately. Charlie girls down there. We've just had a lot of crap going on. It's really kind of been unreal, I guess. It's been very entertaining is not even the word for it, because honestly what's been going on isn't entertaining at all. And the title of tonight's live is something that I saw in a chat. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth on this. So we can thank Sassy Nos for that. She put that out there and I thought, oh my gosh, that is a wonderful topic to cover. Hey, country Christian. You know, not holding, if you don't hold somebody accountable for the lies that they tell, the untruths, however we want to try to sugarcoat that. To me, there's really no sugarcoating it. And, we've been witnessing some pretty horrific lies going on lately. And honestly, we've kind of witnessed them for a while now. And just kind of coming up to a head. I know on the Eloise and Fancy's channel, there was a live a couple nights ago, and it was accused that other people dragged Eloise and Fancy into the situation. Guys, we're all adults. We all have eyes and ears. We see and we hear. You're not really dragging somebody in on anything. When you're putting it out there for everyone to see and everyone to hear it, well, you put it out there. If you don't want people to see or hear it, then don't do it. I've always tried to say that and hold myself accountable on that kind of level. I just know the stuff that's been going on has just, oh my goodness, unreal. It's just vicious stuff. I mean, cruel things, Question real quick. If you are a survivor of SADV, do you sit with those who back your abusers? Those who stop you as an SADV survivor from speaking? Just saying. Nope, I don't. And that's my personal opinion on that. I'll highlight that. Sit with those who back your abusers. Yeah, I don't agree with stopping anybody from speaking their truth, as long as it is their truth to speak. And that's a sad part, is that sometimes if you do tell your story, somebody else may take it and claim it as theirs, which we have seen that happen very recently on YouTube. To me, there's nothing more disgusting and vile. It's that, to me, that's somebody's, and I don't mean this in a mean way, guys, or in a bad way, but it's their badge of honor to wear. And I know that sounds demented when we're dealing with this kind of stuff, because I don't think it's a badge of, it's not really honor, but it's their badge. They've earned that story. They have lived it. They have walked that, and they have had to live and survive through that. That is theirs, not somebody else's to steal from them. Yeah, and true, you hate someone speaking for you. Yeah, I do too. Uh, hey, CJ.
Hi. How you doing, lovely?
Do what?
How are you doing, sweetheart?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm just, thinking of the accountability that, you know, because, you get called out. If you call somebody out for not telling the truth or doing something like we've witnessed where they steal somebody else's survivor story, and you're calling it out, then, you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
All right. I got,
A lot of that going about at the minute.
okay, there we go. Do what?
A lot of that going about at the minute from what I'm seeing.
Hey, Charlie girl.
Hello, ladies.
Hey, Charlie.
How are you two doing?
Doing
Good.
good. Doing good.
Good.
How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Just trying to stay out of the heat.
Oh, I know.
Hey, Lenny.
You got anything you want to say about this Charlie girl?
Not yet.
Well,
Give it
well,
time.
you get ridiculed for calling somebody out for their behaviors, for abusive behaviors and lies or whatever. Now, I know the one that we've been witnessing the last few days. Well, actually, it's been a long time she's been doing it. It's, I don't know. You got to hold them accountable and stop them because they're not, and I don't know how to stop them, but I guess calling them out, just,
Exactly.
letting them know you're not going to take it and this is not cool. And I do feel that as survivors, that, and really, once you live these YouTube streets like this, I think everybody in here is a survivor now.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I do feel like we need to stand up for each other as well.
Yep.
100%. 100%. Well, if it's okay, I want to address something real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a bit of a delayed reaction to something, unfortunately, because I've been away on holiday and I got back, and the week after I got back, 2 of my kids ended up with COVID. So it's the first chance I've had to be able to go on and address it. But first and foremost, I want to make a point well and truly clear. Not now, nor have I ever been sent anywhere or went anywhere off my own back to trigger anyone. So let's get the facts straight right here. I came back from a holiday to find out that there was a live put up by an ex-friend who blatantly made it clear that, in her words, I had been sent into another creator's chat to trigger her. Let's look at the timeline here and the facts. A few days prior to that, a certain level of a truce had been called. Based on that truce being called, where everybody agreed to keep everybody's names out of their mouths and step back, I decided I would be friendly and go in to a chat and start letting my guard down a little and saying hello to people. When I went into another creator's chat and said hello, I was immediately called a troll. I was labelled that I was speaking in code by saying hi, sending some love, currently going rogue in London. Very sorry if my humour wasn't picked up on, but I was on holiday in London. But apparently that meant I was speaking in code and I was a troll. Now I'm aware that a friend of mine did turn round and say, I do not think this person is a troll, and that was her way of saying she was standing up for me. But this person knew me a long time, a damn long time. She knows me well enough to know I ain't no troll. Now, this creator and I were really, really, really good friends. And the breakdown in the friendship between her and I absolutely broke my heart. Because I genuinely thought that this person was a true friend and would be a friend for a long time, not just in YouTube. The amount of time, energy, and love I put into this friendship, it broke my heart when it ended. Now, when I became friends with this person, I gave my all. And this person has made judgments saying she didn't think I would say anything, go on a panel, speak about what happened after the fallout. So let's talk about loyalty a second here. Where was the loyalty when we were still friends and I woke up one morning to find my name doxed, to find my messages outed? Where was the loyalty then? Where was the loyalty when somebody who was in the group with us called not just me, but every single other person in the group a liar? And she chose to stand by that person. Where was the loyalty? So if we're going to talk about loyalty, we have to look at all sides here. Now, the breakdown of the friendship with all of us, with this creator, happened because this creator made a decision for all of us to shut down the chat. We were all in a mutual chat together and she chose to shut it down because there was a fallout between two members of the chat. That created a ripple effect throughout the group. Now, this group of people weren't just YouTube friends. We would speak for hours on end. We were really close friends. We would support each other through the highs and through the lows, no matter what, unconditionally. However, when the two friends in the group fell out, this creator decided that she didn't want to take sides. So her way of not taking sides was to close the group chat down and make a decision for everyone that that chat was to end. None of us, excuse me, none of us wanted to lose those friendships or ties. So a couple of the other women set up another chat. Now, this creator was more than welcomed into that chat, more than welcomed. But there was one condition, and that was that the person in the chat, the male, let's just call it out for what it is, Judo Tap Out, and Jenna didn't want to take sides. That's what she said. But then she shut the chat down, made a decision for all of us, and when another chat gets set up, she was welcomed in on the condition that she respected other people's boundaries, that they didn't want to have Judo Tap Out there. Now, each person in the group has their own story to tell on why they came to that decision, and that's their story to tell. I'm not going to speak on behalf of anybody else but myself. The reason that I stepped away from this person was because he sat in a call 2 weeks prior to the group being shut down and said he was sitting with a gun and felt suicidal. Jenna had jumped off a group chat call immediately to go and provide him with hours and hours of support based on that comment and that information. Now, a couple of weeks later, after the group exploded and there was the fallout between two of the group members, when Jenna refused to join the chat with all the other girls, and because Judo wasn't to be there and she didn't want to take sides, her way of not taking sides was to then set up a chat with Judo in it and a few other members of the group, including myself, that she felt would be neutral or wouldn't turn against him. Now, at that time, I was trying to stay as neutral as I possibly could between everyone. Stay 100% neutral. But when I'm sat in a chat with someone who sits on a call and says that when he said 2 weeks prior that he was sitting with a gun and feeling suicidal, he actually didn't mean it. And all he was trying to do was make a point in how he was feeling. At that point, multiple people on that group chat call stopped and said, look, we get you're going through a lot, but your first port of call needs to be to your doctor or someone else to let them know how you're feeling before you call us. Because when you call us and you're telling us things like that, we can't help you. And if you were to do something, we would all feel that. So we made it clear that telling us that he was just saying that to make us understand how he was feeling was not the best way to handle it, and that he needed to communicate how he was feeling in a better way, but not by using threats or words of suicide. The point was then made by a couple of members of the group in that other separate chat with him that if he made a comment like that again and he wasn't getting the help for himself by making that call to someone else first before us, then the police would be called to do a welfare check. He laughed at every single one of us and said that the police wouldn't believe it and his doctor knew how he felt anyway. It was fobbed off completely. Now, Jenna wasn't on this call. 5 other people on this call, and 6 including Judo. After this call, many of us went to Jenna and said, can you please go and speak to him because this is wrong. We're trying to support you here because it isn't fair that you're giving so much of yourself mentally and emotionally when he's saying he had no intention and he was only saying it to make a point and how he was feeling, and then laughing at us trying to help him. When Jenna did go and speak to him, he called us all liars. I asked Jenna to set up a call, start a call and get him onto a call, and to call us all liars to our face. Now, when that call happened, he came into the call and said, I didn't say that. Everybody just hates me because I'm a man. This has nothing to do with whether you're male or female. It's to do with right and wrong. Now, 5 people all witnessed that call. And again, Jenna said all along she didn't want to take sides. She shut down one chat because she didn't want to take sides, didn't want to join the chat with all the other ladies because she didn't want to take sides, but then set up a chat with Judo and only the people who she felt would support Judo. How is that not taken aside? So when you're saying you walked away or we walked away, you chose a side, and you chose a side that was calling everybody that it gave you so much time, love, loyalty, and respect. We gave a lot. We gave an awful lot. And when we're looking at all of that, when he called everybody a liar and you stood by him, I left that chat. And I left that chat because I have enough love for myself and enough respect for myself and morals to say I will not be called a liar and stand there and take it like a damn doormat. So I cut my ties and put my boundaries up with judo, and I stepped away. That boundary at the time, did not in any shape or form include you. For the week to 2 weeks after that, as much as I try to stay neutral, all the other ladies 100% respected my boundaries on that, to not come to me with anything to do with you. But for a week and a half straight, in my inbox, you switched from being somebody who was acting and treating me as if you were one of my good friends, a really close friend, to all of a sudden it was, really, CJ? They're saying this, really, CJ? How many times did I have to say I am not responsible for what anybody else says or does? I had to maintain my boundaries, and I tried to remain neutral with people that I'd formed a friendship with over 6-7 months. So I tried to stay neutral. But that wasn't accepted nor respected in any shape or form. I tried not to take sides, but when I'm pushed every day in my inbox about what other people are doing, and get paragraph after paragraph about what other people are doing, and then private information sent to me, other people have sent to you in confidence, they're sending to you in confidence, hoping that you respect that boundary with them. Our Lovely sent you things in confidence. Sent them to me. A point proven, just to prove your point. You've sent me messages from Judo himself. And then you go out and dox me while we're still friends and put up a message. I hadn't said a single thing at that point, again, just to prove your point. How many people are going to get hurt or thrown under the bus to prove your point? Because the points that you're trying to prove aren't even relevant. They're not relevant to what the conversation is, or the arguments even were. I've asked Jenna, made comments that I would be happy to speak to her if she wanted to come and speak to me personally over here. That is fine with me, but she refused it point blank. That's up to her. But you can't create a narrative looking at one side. It's like Lovely, you're sitting creating a narrative that Lovely's a liar. Well, let's break this down a second. Why, in your opinion, do you think Lovely's a liar? Because in your opinion, Lovely's opinions that she had in April have changed to a different opinion, or an opinion. Now, an opinion growing and changing doesn't make someone a liar. Because at the start of this, we all had our one pieces of the puzzle, which was our own feelings on the things that were going on. But when you get together and you start to realise that you're all being upset or triggered by the same people or the same person, that is when you start to look at a bigger picture. All your pieces of a puzzle come together to create a bigger picture. Does that make someone a liar? It means they grew in strength and confidence to grow their voice enough to be able to say how they feel. It's as simple as that. That doesn't make you a liar. Let's just nip that one in the bud right now. She's not a liar. She's one of the most honest and beautiful souls that I have ever came across. It's about nipping all these things in the bud. You sat on the last live with Shining, and it's clear that you were not sure as to whether or not telling the truth or we were telling the truth. Okay, so take that comment as it is, okay? If you're not sure who's telling the truth and who isn't, as a channel creator who's given a moderator a wrench and you're allowing Judo to sit in your chat and create a narrative to anybody who is watching, which you are enabling. You're enabling this by allowing to sit in your chat and create this narrative where we're the liars, we're the wrongdoers, we're the bullies. We hate him because he's a man, because he's disabled. It's got nothing to do with any of those things. Now, if you're sitting there and you can say he's not, you don't know who's telling the truth and who's not, then you have a responsibility for the people that hold a wrench in your chat to say, do not comment on these things. It's as simple as that. You can't tell who's telling the truth and who isn't. We were still friends, I came to you about Judo. You admitted to me that you knew that we were all telling the truth. But it didn't matter anyway because he'd already left the chat. And then all of a sudden we were all lying. And now you're sitting saying, well, I don't know who's telling the truth. Everything's going to end with this, then the comments need to end. That ends by keeping everybody's names out of your mouth. And Judo needs to do the same because he's creating a narrative that is causing us to have to constantly feel as if we're having to defend ourselves because this person from day one has called us all liars. I'm not talking about the original fallout and in the group. That's already been covered. I am sick and damn tired of finding my name coming out of your mouth. I've done nothing but give love and loyalty to you in the past. And when you want to look at why things went wrong with our friendship, look at the fact that while we were still friends, we used our friendship to the point by throwing my name, me, and my private information and my private messages under a damn bus. If you want to talk about loyalty? Where was the loyalty then? Where was the loyalty? Somebody called your so-called friend, best friend at the time, a damn liar. Morals and respect in myself that when somebody calls me a liar, I don't stand there, I walk away from it. Like I said, I didn't walk away from you. You pushed me away from you by coming to my inbox on a daily basis with all the bullshit. Even coming towards you was people just trying to defend themselves. Because from the beginning, there's been a narrative being created. We all want this to stop. Everybody wants the bull to stop. It stops when everybody's prepared to be accountable for their own damn actions. I'll include myself in that. If I have ever hurt, offended, upset anyone, any of the time that I've ever been on YouTube, I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, apologise. I truly do. But one thing I will not be is a doormat. And when other people are going to create a narrative, defend myself. And when I start to feel unable to go into people's chats and say hi because I'm going to be accused of speaking in code or triggering someone, then how am I meant to navigate that when I have done nothing wrong but try to be a friend? All I've ever tried to do. Now, Jenna, you know how much I gave to you, sweetheart. You do. And I know you're listening somewhere. You know how much I gave to you. And every bit of it, excuse my language, shit on. The second you decided to stand by someone calling us a liar. That didn't mean I was brainwashed. It didn't mean that I was suddenly being influenced by other people's opinions. I'm standing up for my own damn self. It's as simple as that. Want this to end, but it ends when talking ends. I know you've made it clear that Judo's away at the moment, and I hope and pray that when he does come back, he's in good health, and when he comes back as a mod on your channel, that he comes back with a fresh slate where he keeps everybody's names out of his mouth. Because if he does, we will. And if you do, we will. But while we're all given something to have to defend ourselves over, it's not going to end. Now, you know, Jenna, how much I gave you, how much I helped and supported you and your whole family. But yet you turned around and walked away for someone who called us all a liar. That's how much value you held in the friendship. And then you feel you had a right to sit up in your live and say, where's the loyalty? CJ promised she would never go up. She would never say anything. She said she was going to stay neutral. How dare you expect loyalty? After while we were still friends, you did what you did. And then you stood by the person calling me a liar. I think that's all I've got to say, to be fair. But if this is going to end, it needs to end with her and the other people involved keeping their mouth shut about everything. Because while we're constantly defending ourselves, it's going to keep going. But I am absolutely sick and tired of having my heart broken every single time I look at YouTube to find my name in her damn mouth. When this is somebody that I had gave so much time to, and when I say time, trust me guys, you have no understanding of the concept of the amount of time and love and loyalty I gave this person just to have it all thrown straight back in my face. So that's all I've got to say, guys. So sorry for sort of having a rant there, but it needed to be said from my point of view. Bit of a delayed reaction, but due to time zones and my holidays, I haven't had a chance to go on and say anything, so I apologise.
Don't apologize, because you have every reason to, to speak your truth. And
Yeah,
y'all
that's
have
right.
It's just heartbreaking how it's all turned out when we all gave so much and we were all what we thought was such a tight group, to have it all thrown away and thrown in our face.
Yeah, but she's got the history of it. It's a
Certainly
long,
has.
long history. She's done it to so many, and I guess we were under the. I don't know. What, did we just not see it? We just not think. It would be done to us too. So many things. So it's just kind of like we can preach it to the mountains till the choir comes home. But if people don't want to listen or take heed, then it's on them. But it's all you can do is try and protect other people from going through the same thing.
Yeah.
Amen.
And listen, I'm not trying to tell anybody to hate on her or anything like that. Not in the slightest. I'm not that type of person. But what I'm saying is directly to Jenna. Don't keep going live if you don't want a response. You keep going live and bringing up all these things about me when I've never once said a thing. Have I been around? Yeah. This is the first time I have come on to Shinings and publicly spoken about anything. Did I go on to Dusty's for a short time? It was a recording that was played because of the time difference. So I have been very quiet throughout this whole thing. But yeah, it's my name you seem to speak about the most often. If Jenna's listening or Jenna's watching, this ends when you end it. It's as simple as that. Hey, Indigo.
Thank you, CJ, for being up here, speaking how you feel about it.
It's okay. I'm just frustrated that
And
with
that's
the
what
time zones.
It's okay.
that's what I was going to say too. I think everybody's frustrated because
Yes.
there's not a resolution. There's never been a resolution, and I don't think there ever will be, because we owned our shit, but nobody else has. So until that happens, unfortunately, it's not going to be, and there's not going to be an end to it.
Yeah.
I mean, she called me a liar. So that's, I take that very personal because I'm not a liar and I did not lie.
And
And
we're definitely not evil.
no,
No.
no, we're not. Lovely and I were called demons. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it was demonic.
demonic. Yeah. That's really funny.
The words that get thrown around are just deflection.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's deflection and projection rather than facing the reality of what you need to face to grow as a person, change and move forward.
Mhm.
Now, all we're asking is for exactly that. Accept accountability, take some responsibility, realise that this ends when the talking stops, and then grow from it and make sure that things like this don't happen again. And that's all we can all do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I won't be a doormat to be called a liar, and I won't be a doormat, and I know you all guys feel the same.
Exactly.
Yep. Very true.
Yeah, country Christian, no, we're not kidding. It was really sad.
It's like
Lenny.
these ladies are some of the most supportive ladies I've ever came across in my life, who all have the most beautiful hearts and would do anything for anyone. And we did for Jenna. We all truly did. We were all there, day and night.
And we still would be.
Yeah.
That's what's sad about it. Because I
She
did
had the option to join that chat. She
right.
had that option.
I
But
mean, I
she could
love
not
that she
respect the
taught me a lot.
boundaries in place.
Right.
Yeah, but that's how she is. I mean, it's the same thing that she's done to everybody else.
It's a repetition.
Yeah.
It's not
You
the
know,
first time, and it probably won't be the last time. But for us, it is enough. We're tired of being called the evil, the demonic, or whatever. I never called anybody anything like that. And to me, that proves when you get to speak in that way, you become
no.
an evil person. Now I said it. I'm not an evil person, never was an evil person. And for somebody to call me an evil person, that's anger right there. That's anger. Angry at herself, angry for messing up, angry for lying. And once you step forward and you speak the truth, what really happened, then you probably feel 100% better.
I don't think she's capable of that though.
Well, I
Because I
just
think
want
in her mind, she really thinks that she's done nothing wrong. And we're all wrong.
right.
Nobody can ever force her to have a different opinion
Right.
or do what we think's the right thing. All we can do is say, please respect the fact that you've admitted on Shine's Live that you have no clue who's lying or who's telling the truth. Even though you've admitted to me that you knew that we were telling the truth, and it didn't matter now anyway because he'd already left that other chat. Now, this is when all we're asking, when he comes back, I do hope that he's doing well when he comes back, that while he's holding a wrench under your channel, that he isn't allowed to create a narrative that you yourself have admitted and acknowledged that you do not know where the truth lies. So please nip that one in the bud. So that's one of the first things that we're asking. Number 2, keep our names, any innuendos out your mouth.
Can't hear you,
Susan?
Cutting out, CJ.
Sorry. Keep our names out of your mouth, and while he's holding a wrench, he needs to do the same.
Exactly.
Well, you know
And
what I don't get is why is it she's protesting so much? You know, the one thing that she keeps falling back on is that she wasn't on the call, so she doesn't know who's telling the truth, right? She wasn't on that particular call. But one, she's not going to believe everybody else who was on the call. But yet, there's other things that had happened that she believes is the gospel.
Yep.
And she was not on those calls either.
Yep.
Right.
And that's where she needs to be accountable, because she's basing her choice on what? Because when you make a choice, it should be an informed choice, because you based it on learning all the facts. She's not based it on facts. She's based it on what she wanted to base it on. Judo has led a narrative from day one that this is all because he's a man, that we all hate him because he's a man. Well, I wouldn't be married if I hated men. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with what sex you are. It's to do with how you treat people.
And
It's
I
simple. It's that.
am disabled, so why would I hate someone else who's disabled? You know,
Yeah.
that makes no sense.
That's right. I'm disabled too.
Well, you see what Carol said? She goes, girls don't seem to realize that this isn't Judo's fault. This all falls back on her.
Well,
Well,
don't- yeah.
it's two different situations.
Yeah.
That's the
It's in
thing. The
twin
one,
situations.
yeah.
it is partly his fault, and the other part of it is that she didn't hold him accountable.
Yes.
And that's the
Well-
part where I'm angry and I feel hurt and more betrayed than anything, because when you have multiple friends that you've built up such a tight friendship with, so we thought, you're willing to dismiss the word of 5 friends over one person. You're prepared to stand in the face of 5 people and say, I'll walk away from you guys and stand by him. You're prepared to call us a liar and accept that he's telling the truth for all this time, and then in Shine's last live, you say, I'm not sure who's telling the truth, I don't know. Well, if you
It's
don't
actually
know why
7
for the
people.
last few, 7 then. So for the last, God knows how many weeks, why is a narrative being allowed to be created that we're liars if you yourself are admitting that you don't know where the truth lies? So when it comes down to sort of, when you're looking at sort of the way of plausibility on who's telling the truth and who's lying, there was 7 people on that call. I thought it was 5. Do apologise. It was 7. So are 7 people lying compared to one person? And then you walk away from those people based on that logic. Well, that really says how much the friendship stood in your opinion towards everybody else. So
Yeah.
what we're asking is just to keep your mouth shut. Because every time we try to say something to nip it in the bud, like I'm doing now, there'll be another live with you constantly trying to prove a point.
I wonder
there
if
is
we'll
no
get
points
middle
to be proven.
fingers.
Yeah, middle fingers, come on my panel. No.
F and B's, all of it, you know. But yeah, I mean, I get what Carol's saying, because this is a hard one, because it is two different subject matters. One, that we had an issue with judo, that's totally, it's separate, but it intertwines with the Jenna issue. You know what I mean? It is, yes, they're two separate things, and this whole thing with her lies solely at her feet. Solely at her feet, because it was all in how it was dealt with. And
Yep.
it's dealt with the same way she has dealt with everybody else who has come across her path. Like he said, yep, until she has a problem with whoever's left over there, then she will backtrack on them and try and call them a liar. Same bullshit, different day.
Mhm.
And that's, I think, very true. You know?
Yeah.
And like Carol said, she's done it before. And before all this judo shit went down, she was doing this all along, just with, not just with him. You know, so it's the same MO, the same operational pattern that she sticks with.
And the thing is, she's took it so defensively from the beginning of the fallout between Judo and Dusty, because she's taken it so personally, to the point where she sees it as a rejection of her by us having a boundary regarding Judo, when it's two different things.
Yeah.
All she had to do was respect everybody's boundaries regarding him, and she would have not been in that situation. But she's pushed herself into that situation. She said she didn't want to be put in the middle. She put herself in the middle by setting a chat up with just him and anybody who would only support him or stay out of it. And that was it. For a week and a half to 2 weeks, she ignored everybody else. I fought tooth and nail as peacemaker, because everybody who
You
knows me
did,
knows
CJ.
me.
You did.
I'm peacemaker. Puts rainbows and glitter, and I sprinkle unicorns, and I explode glitter bombs. That's me.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I tried everything.
Yep.
Yes, you have.
Negotiate a peace between everybody before it got to this point. But it's what she had to understand was, at some point you have to stop pushing, because I have to also respect everybody else's boundaries. And then when I was called a liar, I then had to be put in a boundary for myself. Now ask yourselves this, and just a little puzzle here. Why would somebody who was her best friend just walk away? Why?
And that's the thing, though. You didn't walk away.
Exactly, but that's the narrative that she's creating. I was
Well,
pushed away. I was treated like shit. I was walked all over because of what she felt was right or wrong. I spent my daughter's birthday, my niece's baptism, in absolute tears, getting hounded with messages about what other people were saying that she felt was wrong. I sat in tears on a call with her saying, I'm not eating. This is me so stressed out. I am not eating. I do not want involved in this. To be time and time again said, okay, and then the next minute another message. That's what led me to hit that block button.
right.
Because I do not deserve, nor does any other person in this group deserve, to be bashed, doxed, mistreated, or called a damn liar when you yourself have admitted you have no proof. It's as simple as that. You're saying you walked away from all of us. You chose to take a side. And unfortunately, in my opinion, it was the wrong one. Now, while I say that, no, that doesn't mean that everybody expected Jenna to walk away from judo. We all
No,
made
not at
it
all.
clear that it's up to her. She's a grown-ass adult. She can be friends with who she likes. We all
Right.
can.
As
We're all
we
grown-ass
can.
people.
Yes.
Our rights. We can speak to who we like. We're not in a playground. We don't need to ask permission to go and speak to someone.
And I think that is what boggles my mind so much is the the new chat was created because she was closing the old chat.
Yeah.
And then she said, "Do not add me to that chat." So her wishes were respected and she
Our
wasn't
wishes were
added.
respected. She
And
put a
then,
video into the old chat before she shut it down, stating she didn't want added into any new chats that may be set up.
right. And then when she then she wants to treat it as though this chat was created and she was not put in it, like she turned it around to make it look like we were trying to keep her out of the chat. No, you said don't add you.
Yeah. She said don't add her. And then for a week and a half, I fought tooth and nail privately with her because she wouldn't speak to the majority of the other ladies to get her to be added into the chat. Now, everybody was willing to welcome her into that chat. The only thing that anybody said from the beginning was, please, if you want to come into this chat, respect the fact that judo will never be added into it. And because of that, she chose to stay out of it. Based on the logic of, I don't want to take sides. Well, how is that logical when you're sitting in another chat with judo? You don't want to take a side, but you'll be in a chat with him, but refuse to be in a chat with everyone else.
Yeah, because at
So
that
how's that not taking a side?
we were looking like we were the enemy at that point.
Yeah, we've been made to look like the enemy. What nobody realises that we've fought tooth and nail to keep the group together. We fought tooth and nail to get her into that other chat. The door was kept open for ages behind the scenes for her to get herself together and sort what she needed to sort and then say, okay, I'm ready to talk. And when she was ready to talk to one of the group, that wasn't a good enough conversation. And then when she did finally say she wanted to speak to everyone, done in the wrong way. She was trying to make it sound as if she only wanted to speak to everybody for me.
Right.
And I told her I didn't want her to make a decision for me. If it went right or wrong, you're not holding that responsibility onto my damn shoulders. And if there was anything to be sorted out between any of the ladies, that was between them. Don't do something because of me or because you know how much I wanted everybody to sort things out. Because you want to hold yourself accountable, you want to move forward, you want to make peace and you want to grow. Don't ever do something for someone else. We made the choices at every single move to push away or walk away. And then at one point, everybody had to put up a boundary because we were sick and tired at that point of defending ourselves. And for somebody to sit there and say, where's the loyalty? Well, yeah, where was the loyalty? We were getting called liars. We chose not to take a side, but took a side.
Yeah, but again, that's what she does because everyone she's had a fallout with, they're all liars.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she does. And Lenny had asked how many. Lenny, it's more than that. There's quite a few.
The list is pretty long and extensive.
Yeah. And it is. It's unfortunately it's a pattern, and she would have had such a bunch of good women that she's made friends with and lost friendships with over the last goodness knows how long. And she has to stop at some point and ask herself why. And that doesn't mean she's a terrible or a bad person, but at some point she has to look at herself and say, why's things been like this? And
You
it's
would
easy to
think
put
that she
on
would.
the big hard man routine and say, I don't care. Well, we know you care. But you don't care enough because you allowed so many friendships to slip through your fingers for all the wrong reasons. And you've treated so
Yeah.
many people like dog dirt on their way out the door.
Something else
Really
that is
sad.
really telling to me is when we were all referred to after the fallout. We were all referred to as ex mods. I'm sorry,
Well,
honey. I am not anybody's ex anything. You
Yeah.
know, if you want to call me your ex friend, then that's okay. But that tells me that we were nothing to her.
Yeah. I was a friend to Jenna before I was her mod. And whether we were friends first or after, it makes no damn difference in the slightest. The mods sit there on a 12-hour call supporting someone, picking them up from the ground, supporting them through their tears. Does a mod do that? Does that fall under the responsibility of somebody with a wrench?
No.
That's what a friend does. And when a friend sees another friend down, they stop and they're there. We did that so many times. So to hear us referred to as mods or minions
Mm-hmm.
in the past in different lives diminishes the friendship that we all thought we had in so many ways. But it's also a way of removing yourself, in a sense, from the situation. Because she's not wanting to face what it was. She's removing herself and belittling it to a lower level of mods.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody I know went above and beyond to support her.
Yep.
Yeah,
Above and beyond.
it's like Lenny said, if you're looking for accountability, then you'll wait till the end of time. She will not admit. She won't. Do not expect it. She never cared, and that's what hurts.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it is, and
Yes, yes.
it's been more, yeah, Country Christian said, it's been more than a few months. You're right.
Yeah. And you know what, you're right, Lenny, because it won't ever be admitted, and no, I really don't expect it, and that is what hurt the most, because the friendship that I had with her, I genuinely thought was valued on the same level that I valued her, and it obviously wasn't, and that took me time to process that and the hurt that came with that, and I have had to realise that all I can do is speak my voice, and it's not so much for her benefit now, it's more for me, in the hope that I get this out my system and anyone who hears it realises that there's two sides to a story and we're not the bad guys.
Right.
We have all tried. We really have all tried. And yeah, some of it's we've all been dealing with different feelings and emotions, and some of it has been dealt with in humour. It could have been dealt with a lot differently and could have went down a very different route to humour. So I think the humorous route is probably the better alternative. So we have all tried to sort of manage how we're feeling and contain how we're feeling. But it only ever stops when we're stopped giving things we have to defend ourselves about.
Well, you had to consider too, this is someone who puts official documents up on screen and tries to convince everyone who's watching that it actually says something other than what it says.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's so little respect for anyone watching you, anybody sub to you. You have no more respect for them or yourself I mean, that's more than a blatant lie. I mean, that to me is that's such an insult.
Perception of the government and everything else that you would even think something like that and would ask other people to do such a thing for you. That is what is very disrespectful and shameful of somebody. And then the way you've been spoken to by a person you have trusted and believed in and tried to stand beside them, not behind them, beside them. So all of us, especially CJ, and we've been so betrayed and lied about and made look bad that it hurts. It deeply, deeply hurts. And that hurt, you have to overcome. It just doesn't go away. Like with anything that happens to you in life that is very hurtful, it takes time. It does not go away overnight. And it doesn't go away in a couple of months.
Yeah.
It's always going to be stuck.
Yeah, we're all still very raw, and that rawness keeps getting triggered every time we keep seeing falsehoods and lies being spread. Yeah. And then we're having to defend ourselves all over again. How does it end if we're having to keep repeating the same vicious cycle? At some point, we all have to step off of that vicious circle. And the only way to step off of that is to say exactly what we're saying now. You're admitting, Jenna, that you blatantly do not know the truth, even though there is 7 witnesses to that call.
And that is not the first time that such a thing happened.
Definitely not the first time. It happened multiple occasions prior to that. But because you hadn't witnessed those occasions, you don't believe they happened, even though multiple people have pointed it out. Now this ends when, like I said, when Judo comes back, if he stays quiet regarding this situation and he's not continuing with the narrative that we're all lying, when you yourself have admitted that you don't know, and you yourself do the same and just quit talking regarding it all, then that allows us time and the peace and the quiet to heal. Because while you might not have cared, we all did. And I certainly don't feel as if you cared, Jenna, because for everything we all gave, for everything I gave you, for you to just toss that away is absolutely heartbreaking. So this ends when you end it by keeping your mouth shut. No more lives in retaliation. In your last live that you were putting your videos back up, I haven't looked, but I'm letting you know now, if somebody comes back to me, or if I do go and look and find that the video is back up where you doxed Lovely and myself, report it personally. Keep reporting it. Because you've got no damn right to dox other people. Prove your own points that aren't even relevant to anything that we've all been discussing.
Hi,
You've
Crunchy
been asked
Chicken.
multiple times to take me and Lovely down off of that. You've been asked multiple times to remove it. You did remove it, and again, to prove a point, you said you were putting it back up. So if that is back up, I suggest you take it down. Because I'm sick and tired of this comment of when she did do that, we were still friends. And I went to her inbox and said, wait a minute, we're friends. Why have I just woke up to a live with you doxing me, doxing my real name and doxing my private screenshots? And her response was, well, I've been doxed. That's great, that's you. Because you've been doxed doesn't mean I feel okay about me being doxed. Our next comment was, I just forgot to take that bit out, that your name out. Well, again, that's brilliant. You forgot to take the name out. Still showed my private messages.
And we are not the ones that doxed her. She doxed herself
That's what I was going to
numerous
say.
times on her lives. She put it all out there. She put
Yep.
out her fake papers, her fake everything with her name, because people before, I don't know who she had beef with or is having beef with constantly, but that had nothing to do with us. Not one time me or the other ladies have doxed her with her real name. Not one time.
Like I said, I don't play into those kinds of games and that she's playing, and I don't dox people. I don't give out things that have been spoken to me like that. It's been a hard one to sit and realise that the friendship certainly wasn't a two-way friendship.
No,
it really
wasn't.
has.
No, and the other thing is that she always falls back. I've been doxxed. I've been doxxed. Blah blah blah. You know what? It doesn't matter whether you've been doxxed or not. You don't do it to somebody else.
No. And
Just
certainly
to
not to make
prove
a point. Yeah.
Right.
Can I give you all my 2 cents on the whole situation?
Hey, country Christian.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. I just want to say I love y'all. Don't forget
you
that.
too.
Love you.
And the reason why I left is because I was triggered, and CJ had called me that night. And when she done that live with Savannah. And all the cussing and all that was going on. I just had to leave. And then Jenna puts me right back in the group without asking me. So I left again because I guess Shining did a live about law enforcement, her being arrested. And I kind of thought that was kind of crazy, but no offense to you, Shining.
I know.
And, but I knew it was going to go down right when she said, I was following her for a little bit, just, peeky booing, I guess. And she said that she was back in with Ziggy. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, what now? Well, I had talked to Dusty, and I want to talk to you all about this too. I think I told Shining. I'm not really sure, but I get this weird email from one of
Tabby's moderators about 6 Up. And I said, so I screen recorded it and I put it on my channel. The next day, all HEWL hockey sticks goes off. Tabby does a live about me, and Jenna pops up on panel without me knowing about it. And I know y'all were in there and all that, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, this was right before y'all left, I think. And I
Right.
basically, I just told her off, and I hadn't talked to Jenna since. And I'm going to be straight with you girls. I have tried to help her with Jamie, and with her, I know we all tried to help her with everything. And I love you. I love you girls to death. But it seems like I was just trying to get drug through the mud the whole time. And I, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, I did have problems with my relationship with my husband. But the thing about it was, it didn't need to be brought on YouTube. But that's okay. That's okay. God got this. God's in control. All right. But she also said in the live a couple of weeks ago on Shining's live that I was not to be trusted. Well, let me give you a little bit of backstory. There is a girl named Trixie Star. Y'all know of Trixie. Trixie
Yes.
was the one that was hanging with 423 Chase when Summer was missing. Chase is nothing but a scammer. He scammed a woman out of $5,000 and was uh wanting to get more money. And his if I believe I've got it on my YouTube channel where Tiffany Marie does a live with Brad's ex-wife. He's nothing but a scammer. He scams women out of money. He scams everybody out of money. And I'm assuming that Trixie Star had absolutely told Jenna that I was not to be trusted. Because I had put videos out on her. Because, see, I tell you why. See, there is a couple out of South Africa. Y'all know Anita's world. I know anyway, he promised Anita $10,000. She goes all the way to Tennessee to get the money and was lied to and come back with nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, make a long story short, I had put this all on here, and when Anita called Chase out and Trixie out, I told Trixie, this is the exact words I told Trixie. See, Brad has got a probation violation on him. Well, 423 Chase has got a probation violation on him. He was going to go up back before Thanksgiving and see Trixie. He made a poor excuse saying that he had lost his phone when he was on the lives with Benny Keys. He didn't look like he lost the phone to me. So, but yeah, I think that's who she's been fooling with, and Trixie is not to be trusted either. So that's the reason why I left, and I wanted to come up here and let you girls know what was what.
Well,
But
Well,
yeah,
can I say something about the situation with your husband, your relationship? You know who brought that to YouTube, right?
yeah, I was in the chat.
Yeah, she did, Jenna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
know who done it.
I didn't
But
even
And I
know about it.
apologise if if we've ever hurt your feelings, sweetheart, or anything like that. Yeah, at the time, that situation, which I'm not going to go into, yeah, like I said, it did upset a couple of people, including myself.
yeah, I know that.
But I know that you've been doing a lot of work and you're doing great. I fully respect that. So I apologise from the bottom of my heart, sweetheart, if I have ever offended you, hurt your feelings, or upset you.
And we love you
Sitting
very
in
much.
here with me. I want to
Well,
apologize for that statement. That did not come from Jenna. It alone was me because there is a couple of things why I was so bitter about it. That happened with me and you know my ex family. So
well,
I
I
hope
mean, I just want to say something to Lovely. Don't let. Well, she basically used you for a crutch. That's all she done.
Mhm.
And I forgive you. I forgive all of you. I love every one of you. Um,
I love you
and,
too.
thank you. We love you
and
too.
Yep.
but I'm trying to think what I was gonna say. It must have been a lie.
I didn't
but
want to.
but yeah, it's been good.
Well,
It's been real good.
we happy to have you back in here in chat with us on Shinings. So
Yep.
I love Eloise and Fancy. They're just a hoot.
And
How's
it's not about causing trouble or taking sides anymore for me. I just want peace, and I
how
want left the hell alone. And I know the others feel the same. And like I said, my apologies go out to anybody that I've ever offended or hurt in any way or ever hurt their feelings. And in the past with standing by genocide or defending what I thought was right for her or anything like that. So again, publicly, my apologies go out to Ink, Linny, Carol, Savannah, Country Christian. My apologies go out to you all for anything that's ever been said, done in defence of what we believed was right at the time for Jenna.
Exactly.
So
Because of
from the
what we
bottom
were
of
being
my heart,
told.
I apologise to everybody, and I just want a fresh slate, and that includes Jenna keeping our names out of her mouth. Whether she stands by that or not, that is 100% on her. I can't force that. That's her decision to make. But if she is going to keep it all going, then I don't know.
Game on is what you say.
Game on, game on.
well, I mean, I like that motto that Eloise says. What does she say?
We
You aim, we blame, you or something like that.
We
You aim
aim,
it,
you claim, don't blame.
yeah,
That's right. I love that. Oh
yeah.
Lord, I love
and
that.
Yeah.
she claims it every single time.
Everything. Everything.
Things that aren't even about her.
I know. It's all right.
But
Um,
I mean, this is my thing. I really kind of been backing up a little bit because I don't want to give her the time of day. I mean,
Exactly.
it ain't really worth it. She's not worth my time.
No.
Oh, and sorry, can I point out one apology that we missed there? Lyric.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
apologies also go out to Lyric, who was
And
also
Sam.
probably treated very unfairly, and Sam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the list is so long,
I know
know.
that's
Everybody
what I'm
that has
saying.
been in there with us at the time and then were not there anymore. Um, I want to greatly apologize to for, you know, everything.
Well, it was like it with when Dusty messaged me, and I was like, "What is Janet up to now?" And we talked, and I gave her my input on everything. Where is Dusty anyway?
She had an appointment today.
Oh, I hope she's okay.
Yeah. Well, what
She's
happened to
good.
Lenny today? Y'all see that?
Yeah.
No.
The
Somebody
people were
apparently.
jumping on her.
Well, yeah. Who was jumping on Lenny? Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna have to start chewing somebody else out.
We're gonna have to get Eloise and Fancy back up here.
I know they're gonna have to start going after somebody. Just don't be messing with Lenny.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, Country Christian, as far as 423 Chase and all that, I don't really know a whole lot about that. I did hear where he had scammed people. I've heard about that. And like I said, I don't know what your specific run-in with Trixie is. I would hope that she was not in on that. Just because she was associated with him
Yeah, I don't think she was.
doesn't mean she was a scammer too, because we were
No.
all associated with Jenna, but that doesn't mean that we're like her. You know what I mean?
No,
Um,
what I'm saying is she's been in her chats.
Yeah. They're
yeah,
becoming
I know.
best buds.
And I'm 9 times out of 10, I hope I'm not right, but I believe it's the one who told her about me that I was not to be trusted.
I don't
Oh, okay.
I don't
Without
know.
a shadow of a doubt, I believe it's who it was. Cause
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully it was somebody else, because,
Well,
Trixie's
yeah.
always been really nice to us on other people's channels. And then I know in Jenna's, she was calling us fucking bitches and this, that, and the other. And it was like, whoa, wait a minute. But then turns around the next day and she's nice again. So are you confused about who you're calling fucking bitches? Or that confuses me,
sounds like she's got a split personality.
Well, it may just be she's not sure who she's talking about, because she
That's
did
what
say,
happens.
who are we talking about at one point?
Yeah.
So,
Right. We're not in there when she goes in there, so she couldn't probably extinguish who we were when we
Yeah.
were in the other rooms,
yeah,
See,
'cause
after knowing her as long as that I've known her, the best way that I can describe Jenna, and if you're listening, Jenna, I really don't mean any harm by this, but see the person that you're trying to be. I can. And I can see the mask of the person that you're trying to be, and that's the person that you want to be, but you're bypassing the work that you need to do to be that person.
Amen, sister. That's the best way I've heard it.
So until you do the work, it's going to be a mask. And I know the mask thing for you is a big trigger, and that's why I'm saying I really don't mean any harm by it. I can see that you're trying to be a certain type of person where you want to help people and you want to be that person that comes in and helps people who are struggling. But you've got to do the work on yourself to work through what you need to for yourself first before you can be that person. And you're bypassing that bit.
And she may find out that it's not in her to be that person, but at least she needs to try.
Well, I mean, it's like me. I had to take a few months off. I mean, literally. And I was going through a lot. And I did. Got rid of a lot of people. Well, I got rid of a lot of mods. And I just took a break from the whole thing. And maybe that's what she needs to do too. I mean, it's not right to go, back and forth. You know what I mean? I mean, just let it go. Lord of mercy, let it go.
Yeah.
And I think Jenna has a big heart. I really do. But there are other aspects of her personality that kind of overshadow that,
Oh, just a tad.
Yeah.
A big heart. I don't know. I don't know how you can have a big heart and do what you do to people like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think she's seen our rejection of judo as a rejection of her, and it put her defences up where she then detached herself completely emotionally and mentally from us. she's seen it as a betrayal of trust and loyalty. And
Well-
our guard went up, and she then turned, and that's when we were all treated how we were treated.
Well, by going on that assessment, and how the hell do you explain what she's done to everybody else
Yeah, it's the same thing.
prior to
She's
him?
loyal. She's loyal to people until she feels as if their loyalty's fading away or they're stepping back. The minute people are starting to say to her, I'm busy, or I can't help you with this, or I've got my own stuff going on, and she starts to feel as if you're not giving her 100% or 100% loyalty, that's when the balance shifts.
Or like when
And that's
Eve
just
didn't answer the
my
phone one
opinion.
night. One night she
exactly.
didn't answer the phone.
Exactly. It's loyalty, 100% or nothing.
Well, that's not friendship, and that's not loyalty.
No, it's
I mean,
not.
my
And we've
God.
all learnt that the hard way, unfortunately.
That's just not how you just don't treat people that way. I'm sorry, you just don't
No.
do it. It's not right.
I mean, we've stood by each other through months and months. You're going on nearly a year now?
Oh, I think she's going on a lot longer than that.
And us lot have been together coming on 7 or 8 months now, 9 months
Mhm.
now. We've all built up good bonds and good friendships. And that was all real to every single one of us. And we did think at one point she was included in that. But when someone proves that they can't stand by your side, or they can't give the loyalty that they demand themselves, or give the trust that they demand themselves, that's not friendship.
No, not at all.
When you're not going to respect your friend's boundaries, but put your own feelings and needs above your friend's boundaries, that's not a friendship either.
Nope.
Well, the truth is well, it's what we thought. I think all of us thought was a friendship,
Mhm.
and we can look at it as we view a friendship. I just don't think she's capable of it. Never was capable of it. I don't think, or at some point became incapable. I don't know. Either way, it's a friendship that how we view friendship is not how she does.
Yeah.
No.
And we're just never going to get, you're never going to get a sincere apology. You're never going to get accountability. She's not going to hold herself accountable. There are a lot of moving the lips, saying this and that, but there's no umph behind it. It is what it is, and like he said, just stop the lies, stop lying on us, stop lying on other people, because I, for one, I'm just over it. It's like, why are you calling us all liars?
And if you feel the need to talk about us, tell the truth.
Exactly. Speak the daggone truth. That's all anybody's asking. Don't go on there live and sit there and spread your bullshit. Excuse my language. Spread your bullshit that somebody was doing foul language. Some man on my panel was speaking foul language and being nasty when it was her husband.
Standing behind her.
That's some audacity right there. It really is. Come on. That's just one of the many things.
And it was directed at us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only man around was your husband. And you completely get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of hurt and raw emotion, but when you're blatantly admitting that you don't know what's fact and what's not, it's not morally right to sit there and allow yourself or others to create a narrative and allow that and enable that narrative to be created around you.
Yeah.
That's not responsible. And when you create a narrative and you're enabling a narrative, then people are going to defend themselves. I'm an open book, quite literally. I'm an open book. My life from start to finish is an open book. But one thing I'm not is a damn liar.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. It just, yeah, like what we said. Trust is tested and it fails. It was never there.
Yeah. A lot of
Like you
people have
said.
been hurt.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure it'll continue. There'll be others.
You know, I mean, for 6-7 months, you've been told consistently by someone that they class you as their closest friend. For them to sit in front of you in a video call because you now are standing up for yourself because you're being called a liar by this other person, and you put a boundary in place with this person, that Jenna then stands in front of me and says, there's only another person who is validating how I feel right now. When all I had done and all everybody else in this group had done was validate how she was feeling. Consistently, time after time after time. Sometimes 12 hours at a time, validating and supporting. To then say that only one other person was validating her. Well, they may only have been validating her in that situation. And she was drawn to who was supporting her thought process at that time. That validation was coming from supporting the point of view that we were lying and this other person was telling the truth. Or that you were saying that you didn't want to take sides, but you took a side and set up another chat with him, but you weren't wanting to take a side. It's absolutely ridiculous that we've all sat here and had to defend ourselves so much when all this has started because somebody we classed as a friend stood up and walked away and stood by the person who had not only triggered multiple people in the group in multiple ways, but also stood and called 7 members of the group liars, and she still stood by him. Nobody was asking her to walk away. We were just asking her to respect the boundaries that we now had in place and come join us without him. She could have had a separate chat like she did with him, and that would have been respected, and it was respected when she set that up. But how can you say you're staying neutral? We were all put through absolute hell having to defend ourselves. And I'm sick of hearing my name mentioned every 2 minutes from her. But friendship isn't this. It's not. And we all want it to stop. This isn't right. It's not.
Well, that and it was basically, I feel like it was just an excuse because it would have ended up over something else. Just like everybody else who's done it too.
Yeah.
So there's always a reason. In this situation, this was the reason. With
with Ink, it was because she simply didn't call her back one night, and that was it. She flipped her shit on it, you know. With others, I'm not sure. I don't know what the trigger was for the others. I'm not going to speak on it. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Yaya's down there. She's camping, y'all.
Yeah, I mean,
Great.
for me, the trigger was simply saying, look, I don't want to be put in the middle. Please don't put me in the middle of an argument that's between two other people. And she was so defensive of judo that me saying that I didn't want to be put in the middle or take a side meant that every day in my inbox, I got it in the neck over anybody that was saying anything towards judo that she felt was negative, when in reality it wasn't anybody being negative, it was people simply standing up for themselves and saying, hold on a minute, we're getting called liars here. There were 7 witnesses, I've said it multiple times on that call. I walked away from every single person and stood by them and allowed a narrative to be created all around YouTube, and he created a narrative all around YouTube that we were the bullies, that we hated men, that we were liars, that we were lying about him. He was the one that sat on that call and said, when he had said 2 weeks previously, he was sitting with a gun in his lap, thinking of using it. She jumped off the call to go and give him hours of support, and then he then admits, I had no intention of doing it. I was just saying it to make a point on how I was feeling. Everybody bounced around him to support him. Everyone said to him was, if you're feeling like that, make sure you turn to your doctor first, so that somebody close by to you knows how you're feeling, and then call us. But if you call us first and say something like that, we can't help you. We're all in different parts of the country, world. We're all left worried. Worried for her because she had given so much time and support based on the logic that she thought he was going to do this, from then to say no, he had no intention. And when we all spoke to him on this call, he called us all liars and told her we were all lying.
Stop barking.
We're lying. And we all told her what was going on, but she still stood by him and allowed a narrative to be created that we were all bullies, liars, and hated him because he was a man.
Hi, Dusty.
Well, if I hated him because he was a man, I wouldn't be married. If I hated men that much, I wouldn't be married to one. It's got nothing to do with whether you're male or female. It's to do with what's right or wrong, and that goes for Jenna as well. She had multiple close friends who were so beyond loyal and loving to her and supportive to not just her, but her whole entire family. And we were all beyond close, so we thought. And the minute we all stood up and had to put a boundary in place regarding judo, it turned. The situation turned completely. We were all pushed out, treated like dog dirt, because we weren't prepared to take his side. She never forced anybody into taking sides. It's not about that. It's about the fact that you forced the situation She forced the situation by setting up a separate chat with him when she said, I'm closing the original chat down. And I'm making that decision on behalf of all of you. If you guys set up another chat, do not add me in. That was 100% respected and the door was left open. For a week and a half, I begged and pleaded and fought with her to try and make peace with everyone and go into that other chat. She said it's not about taking sides. She was in one chat and one chat alone and didn't want to create peace with anyone else but the chat that she was in with him. So when you're talking about taking a side, Jenna, you took the side of your own back. The door was left open for you for ages behind the scenes. And by the time it got to the point of you wanting to talk, you said you were only going to do it because of me. And I told you, do not put that on my shoulders. You do not do something for somebody else. If your intentions are pure, then you'll do it for yourself and yourself alone. And I told you that at the time. You have to do it for yourself, not for me. And then when the girls were asked, so much damage had been done by that point, there was no healing could be done. Now we're all left hurt, watching our names being dragged through mud. And I know most of the ladies get a chance to speak a few weeks ago, and unfortunately, like I said, Dad didn't because of the time zone and everything else. But she has to end this herself by changing what she's doing and how she's treating people. And Judo has to end it if he's going to hold a wrench in her channel. As a channel creator, she has to be responsible when she's admitted herself that she does not know who's telling the truth and who's lying, despite there being 7 witnesses. She's got to accept responsibility to make sure that he's not in her chat, allowing a narrative to be created where we're being bashed or called liars or man-haters or being accused of bullying them. We're not bullying, we're defending ourselves. We're not harassing, we're speaking truth and fact. There's a big difference. Sorry, I'm on a rant.
It's okay.
Just needs to end.
CJ, are you okay?
Yeah, it's hurtful.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's just hurtful when you think someone's a friend, and even while you're still friends, they're prepared to dox you, throw your name under a bus while you're still friends. And then when you put up the boundary with that person, you get thrown under a bus 10 times more. And then you're standing up on your own live and saying, where's the loyalty? She said she would never go on a panel or say anything. Where's the loyalty? Where was the loyalty while you were still meant to be my friend and you threw me under the bus and doxed my name? Where was the loyalty when you stood by the person that called 7 other people, including myself, a liar? You don't gain loyalty, you earn loyalty. There's a difference. I need to take a deep breath for a minute so somebody else go.
I love you, CJ.
Love yous too.
Yeah, you know I adore you.
Like I said, I'm the one that puts rainbows and glitter and throws unicorns and rainbows and glitter bombs. But this has broke my heart. Like I said, I don't deal with negativity very well. I'm a very positive person. So to have been pulled into a negative energy space where I'm constantly having to defend myself, I do not like this space. I don't like this energy. So I am putting it out there and asking her to stop. In front of anybody who's watching, I am asking for this to stop. For Judo to stop creating a narrative when it's been blatantly admitted. And for her to stop allowing that narrative to be created in her chat. And for her herself to stop. So that we can stop, take a deep breath and heal. That is all I'm asking. You can either respect that or don't. I'll probably wake up in the next few days to another live about how wrong I am or something that's not even the point.
But at least people now, even though we made already some lives about it after she came at us a couple of times before we ever jumped on, I don't think Jenna ever knows what compassion is or caring for somebody. Jenna has problems with herself. She don't even know who she is. And Jenna, she's been through a lot and she has never really maybe gotten help for it or, really healed herself for that. And until she does that, she will never recognize what really, really true friendships are about. It's not about, hey, I'm your best friend. It's you can't have friendships with more than just one person. You just have to be respectful for that friendship.
You've got to put value, trust, and loyalty into yourself before you can expect it from others.
Yes. Yes. And I can honestly say that we all were very loyal to her, even through her dark times when she felt like people were doing her wrong. And to be called, names, to be called the weakest link, to be called a traitor, by somebody that can't even stand for the truth. And like I said before, it takes time to overcome this, and especially, and I can't make her do anything. That is her choosing if she wants to continue, being his friend or, not acknowledging what he really has done. Because some of us been through mental abuse, and when you go through that again and you have somebody that constantly is attacking and negative and brings you down, you come to a point where you say, this is it. And when that happened, and I seen what was done to all of my friends, I just couldn't condone that. And I couldn't condone the negativity and the abuse anymore. The abuse is the way you talk to people, the way certain people come across to you. When you get hollered at by a man that is in our group, that was a survivor group, where is your survivor personality then? Because you showed that you don't care about any of us that it's been through with ex-husbands and other people, and um you know to us it hurts.
Yep.
I don't know what it does for her because I'm not in her body, but I know it really set a lot of people off. um the way, the disrespectfulness, the I don't really care, and the constant um poking, towards with Jenna, he constantly poked her, oh, they doing this and they doing that and blah blah blah, You can't go around talking badly about other people behind their back and then expect not for this eventually all to come out. You can't do that. And
And I'm only touching on like a certain amount here. There's things that I'm not prepared. I don't think are for YouTube.
right,
And like I said, people. This is why I think it's hard for others to understand just how much we did give.
right,
Because of a lot of that, I won't. I'm not the type of person. I'm not going to throw people under a bus like that. But I will defend myself if I'm called a liar.
right.
And that's the hard part.
And that's what set me over the edge. Not only for me, but for the other ladies that were in there. Um, and then for the ladies that, um, were really bad attacked after that because they opened a chat, which we didn't knew about it. And, it's our own decision. We are our own people. We can make our own decisions, what is best for us. And the best way for me was to get out of that. And that's what I done. So,
Yeah.
but I'm not, it hurts more to be called a liar than anything in the world when you know in your heart that you have nothing to hide and you have nothing to gain from um you know from this. So why not be a better person and fess up to your lies, to the untrue things, um face up to what has been done.
Everyone respected the fact that she still wanted to be friends with him. That was her choice. All everyone asked her was to respect the fact that we didn't, and for good reasons. And she didn't want to respect that, and it became a control play where it's okay, well, I don't want to be your friends if you don't want to be his friend.
Right. Yeah, it's true, Lenny. I know. We're just, I guess we just um
We know she's never going to apologise. I think it's
Yeah.
just more about trying to get others to see that we're not the bad guys, and that
And
all these comments that are getting made, that, you know, we're the bullies, or we're the bad guys, or we're the liars, or we hate men, or CJ's been sent into chats to trigger me, or any of these daft comments, it's all phony.
And yeah, you saying that with, you know, that is what happened to me on the creators side. Is those little comments that, you know, they are about you, and then it's being turned around, saying, you know, we didn't do anything. You know, they coming at me. You know, before you judge somebody, you need to look in the mirror and really, you know, you can't go around, you know, punishing people for something they had nothing to do with it. Let's say it that way.
Yeah. And let's face it, we're not in school anymore. We're all grown-ass adults.
Right.
And at the minute, it's tit for tat, because, and it's going to stay tit for tat, because the problem we've got at the minute is, while a false narrative's being created or allowed to be created,
Right.
it leaves people feeling as if they have to defend themselves.
Yes.
And then that makes them feel as if they've got to make a response to defend themselves. So, like I'd said before, there was, and I had been saying it for months now, there was only ever going to be two solutions to this. Everybody gets together in one place, talks it out, which she has never agreed to. She came on, and as far as we got was the last live with Shining.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of things admitted, and still a lot deflected from and denied. So now we're at a point of saying, okay, everybody's had sort of chance to see how that panned out. It hasn't so far panned out very well, because she still went live and said certain things. So all I'm doing is saying now, we can all step off this merry-go-round and end this cycle. And it takes someone being the bigger person to see who. And I can assure you, it won't be us that keep the lies going. We will only ever defend ourselves. If the lies continue, that continues. We want that to end. Stop that. So that we can all step off this stupid vicious circle and heal. If you're going to keep allowing a narrative to be created where we're liars, when you yourself have acknowledged and admitted you don't know who's telling the truth, then you're enabling that. And that's wrong. So do what's right if you don't know who's telling the truth or who's lying, and stay out of the situation. Because the person calling us liars is the person who needs to defend himself. And I'm aware that he's not fit enough right now, and I appreciate that. But you can't defend somebody else and treat other people in a certain way on behalf of someone else when you don't know who's telling the truth in your own words, despite there being 7 witnesses.
Again, it's what she's going to do. It's going to be something else. If it wasn't that situation, it would be something else.
Of course it would.
So it's kind of, you know, Just
Like I said, minions and mods don't spend 12 hours giving unconditional support to someone.
no, exactly.
12 hours of not hanging up a call because you're there trying to be a friend and support that person when they're at one of their lowest points and help pick them back up again. So that's what a friend does.
Well, do you feel better, CJ? You've
Well, I know
been
it's
able.
not going to make any difference. I know it's probably not going to make the blindest bit of difference. The only thing that I'm asking, I'll end it on this, is Jenna, if you're listening, or if you're in the back lurking, or you watch this on replay, I'm asking you to end it by stopping it now. Stop it by keeping your mouth shut. I don't want to hear my name or anybody else's. It's not fair when you're admitting yourself you don't know where the truth lies. It's wrong. So we'll end it when our names stop getting mentioned. And then we won't have to defend ourselves anymore. Let us heal. You need to do the same, most likely. That can only happen when we're able to walk away as adults and we're not constantly having to be in fight or flight mode to defend ourselves against what's right or wrong. So let's see who's going to be the bigger people and the bigger person. And that's all I've got to say, really.
Well, I agree with you. Just needs to stop and stop the lies. You know, I would challenge her to come and say where anybody over on this panel has lied about anything. Because we have the proof to back it up. Quote unquote
Yeah.
receipts, receipts. We've got them.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous that, the amount of lies that you can hear in about 5 minutes of her speaking is unreal. And it's just it's a slap in the face when you want to sit there and do that. So
it very much is.
But again, this is someone who will show you a piece of paper or a formal document and try to convince you that it says something other than what it says.
Yep.
So that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I just hope it ends now, as I said, but if it doesn't and it keeps going, then we're stuck in a situation feeling as if we're having to defend ourselves all the time. And I'm not a doormat to sit there and say I'm going to allow someone to sit there and create a false narrative and lie about me or make me out to be something that I'm not, the same as you guys.
Yep.
I'm one of the most supportive, nicest people. I've not got an ounce of bad in my body. But I've also got enough respect for myself to know where my boundaries lie, to not be treated in a certain way. And when a friend demands loyalty from me, I sort of expect a bit of the same in return. You can't demand loyalty from someone when you stand by the person who has done all that. You can't demand loyalty from someone when you're prepared to throw them under a bus.
That's very true.
So that's about it from me anyway. So I'm going to jump down just now and say goodbye to you ladies. And
Okay.
thank
Love
you
you,
for
girl.
having me. So I'll catch up with you soon, okay?
All right. Love you.
Right. Love you guys. Bye.
All right. Lovely. You have anything you want to say? Oh, I'm up here by myself, aren't I? Okay, guys. So like we had said with the holding people accountable, that it's, uh, you can hold them accountable all you want, and it's just kind of like, I guess we got to a point where, like CJ said, you have to defend yourself. You feel like you have to defend yourself all the time. Is this where we want to be sitting at this point? No, not really, but it's where we're at. So we're prepared. We're digging in our heels, and hopefully Jenna will stop talking about us, stop telling lies. That's like I said, I challenge you, Jenna, to come and show one lie that somebody's told over here about you. However, we can point out many that you've told. So I think that's pretty much where we're at tonight. And Charlie girl, they're not doctored, you're right. Apology. Yeah, no change expected, I don't think. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, and thank you for coming up, CJ. I know it's getting late for you there. You tried to come in earlier, but I was gonna come live earlier. You could have come up earlier then, but my internet was down. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, no therapy works there, Lenny. I don't think it will. Love you, Indica Sunshine. Look at all these vids. Jessie, she played was direct hits at Ink, Sam and I. For how long? No names or sad attempt to place blame elsewhere. Yeah, it seems to be the golden key is always blaming everybody else. She's got a lot of people she can blame, so I guess she's got a lot of stuff she can do, huh? But on that note, I'm getting kind of tired here, but I think we're going to end it tonight. We've been on a little over 2 hours, so hopefully this gave CJ a little bit of peace to get some of it off her chest because she wasn't able to get on the live we had a couple weeks ago. So you guys, you ladies all have a wonderful night and a wonderful, what is today? I never know what day of the week it is. I'm not working this week, so it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. We might pop on in here on the weekend. Or Eloise and Fancy might be live this weekend. I'm not sure. But you guys have a fantastic weekend. And hopefully everybody stay clear of the YouTube streets, guys. I think that's what I have to do is just stay clear of them for a little bit. Love y'all, and you guys have a good night.